going to give you two little stories of a couple of my hangings. One, 1938. We're going for a triple hanging. The guy I'm going to talk about is Orville Watkins. He was in the middle. They took these guys in, walked them up the steps, tied their feet together, tied their hands behind their backs, placed them out over the trap doors, brought in the priest to give them their last rite, and about that time Orville's trap door opened and he fell. He actually ended up breaking his leg, his arm, and his collarbone. But at the time, all they saw was a bunch of screaming and hollering. So the officers and medical staff go running over to him. The officers untie him, stretch him out onto the floor. The medical staff starts working on him. They work on him for about 20 minutes. And then they look at the officer and says, all right, get us a stretcher. The officers run and get a stretcher. They pick him up, they lay him on the stretcher, they tied him to the stretcher, they hauled him back up the stairs, pulled the doors shut, they propped him in the stretcher up, put the noose around his neck. Two officers looked at each other, grinned, looked up at him and said, this is what you call having a bad day. And about that time the trap door opened and they hung him. And that's a true story. We weren't nice. We weren't nice at all. Now the other cute one I'd like to tell, 1931, Frank Harris. Now Frank was a big man. And the problem with his hanging was they made his rope a little bit too long. So when they hung him, they pulled his head off and it went rolling around the feet of everybody there and they went, oops. And that was the last public execution here. Come on. There was times it would flood the area, there'd be so much water running, the stairwells actually looked like waterfalls. The only thing you can do is roll up your pants and keep working. It wasn't clean water, it was sewer water. It was just something you learned to deal with. The problem was when it wasn't flooded. This is when they like to set cells on fire. And the problem with that is every once in a while they like to leave an inmate in there when they do it. That's something you don't forget when you get the first time you get to deal with that, because they don't always die. Now, to give you an idea what these guys are capable of, and the adults will understand, we take these guys out to a wreck, we strip search every one of them on the way out, and then get on our way back in, trying to keep drugs and weapons down the best we can. The craziest weapon I've ever gotten over here? How about a Derringer with the ammunition in it? I don't have to tell you where it is. Classroom, one person at a time, anything from a GED all the way to a bachelor's degree. Two gun cages. Both guys carried shotguns, pistols. To qualify me to work the shotgun cage, they took me out to the gun range, handed me a shotgun with just 3 rounds in it. They said, you see that hillside? Shoot. I fired my 3 rounds, they looked at me and smiled, and they said, you're good. You go back to work. I can hit the hillside. Sir, that is true. That's how I was qualified. I had a bright idiot sitting over here. His name was Oliver. 357 Magnum, one of the most powerful handguns you can get. He's sitting down, he's a quick draw. He's showing everybody how fast he was. About the 3rd time out, it went off. It entered his thigh, ran down, hit his knee, shot straight down his leg, and came out his ankle. A month later, they put him in charge of the armory. It's a true story. I still don't understand. Still don't understand. Crow's Nest. time we ever used that is when things went bad in here. That means we're going to have to come in here and go hand in hand with these guys. We know what he can shoot like because we train him. Because if you start to lose your fight in here, he's the only thing that's going to be able to keep you alive. The only problem is he has to shoot through this fence, and hit this inmate that could roll around on the floor with. So we highly recommend that you don't lose your fight. And I've been fortunate. I've not lost one. Busted up, but I've never lost. And the one time, they even tried to poison me with mercury in my coffee. And I'm one of the ones they liked. That's the truth. It's just life. People don't understand what life was here. It was different. I ain't going to get it all because it sounds too sappy and it's hard. But people will never understand what life was here, ever. They wouldn't even begin to believe the stories if I started to tell them all the stories. When I came to work here, the first thing they taught me, if it's not on paper, it never happened. I'll leave the rest of that. Well, it's changed up, I can't. Or I would. But as you see, I don't have a key for this shop. So you got the key, right? No? No. Yeah. Push it on to see if it opens. Uh-oh. This was placed in here in 1894. For the first 5 years, we had an officer and then laid down in the basement and they would hand crank it. After 5 years, we went to Wheeling, got a trolley motor, and hooked it up with that, and ran with that ever since. If you'd like to actually see it running, you'd have to see an old movie that was made here called Fool's Parade with Jimmy Stewart, Kurt Russell, George Kennedy. And it's actually a true story of one of our inmates, Holly Griffith. And then we made another movie here called Night of the Hunter with Robert Mitchum and Shelley Winters. And it's another true story of one of our inmates, Harry Powers, a serial killer. He was known as the Clarksburg Bluebeard of the Quiet Dell. We hung him for killing 2 women and 3 kids, but after we hung him and went to his home, we now believe he was involved between 30 and 50 other murders. The newest movie made here was called Out of the Furnace with Christian Bale, William Dafoe, Woody Harrelson. That was back in 2013. That was filmed here in Pittsburgh. Then we've had a lot of independent filmmakers in here. And then 3 years ago, Netflix came in and filmed a new TV series called Mindhunters. We're in episode 9 of that one. Well, then Hulu found out Netflix was here, so they came to phone. But they wanted to do something a little bit more exciting than what Netflix did, so theirs was called Castle Rock, which is a Stephen King story. Now, I like this one because we're in every episode with them. Now, the bad news for us. I watched the entire thing and I still don't understand it. You ready to come out? Purple dresses, and they travel all over the country, they're retired, and they just enjoy life. Well, a few years ago they came here and they said, can we do the all-nighter and run with your ghost? And I said, sure. Well, about 2.5 hours in, we hear this blood-curdling scream, and we come running, and laying right there with a lady redhead. Tears were just falling down her face. She's screaming, yais, yais. She had feet all over the floor. Maggie, a girl who works here with me as an officer, plus gave tours here for a while. She's the first one to get tour. And she finally gets her calmed down. She looks at me. She says, all right, talk to me. Tell me what's going on. And the woman loses it again. She starts screaming and crying, screaming, yais, yais, throwing her hands up, almost punching Maggie in the mouth. Now, Maggie at this time is an old, retired correctional officer. Okay, she's kind of grumpy. And I'm putting it lightly. Okay.
So she grabs the woman, sits her up, she puts her against the wall, takes her fingers and puts it in her chest. And she says, I said, talk to me. And the woman goes, but the eyes. And Maggie looks right up there, and there sits a raccoon. Just to let you know that your imagination can get away from you in here if you're not careful. Now, when you come in here to do the all-nighters, we tell everybody, please, stay in pairs, so things like this don't happen. First person sees something, I can see them getting scared. The second person don't know exactly where you're looking at, so they have to take in a bigger area. They normally see what's really going on and can calm you down right away. This is why we do it. But she told everybody that night, oh, I have to be by myself. See, I know if I'm by myself, I can actually find me a spirit in here. So down this hallway, she comes mingling along. There's a little flashlight and camera. She gets down here and she hears something. She spins and flips that light up there, and she does it so perfectly. The only thing she sees is two red eyes looking back at her. She has not only found her spirit, she has found an evil spirit, which causes her to scream, which scares the raccoon so it hisses back at her, which causes her to pee her pants and hit the floor. And then she had to go home.